Dawn, your memoir takes what many will conclude is a lighter look at a very serious disease. How were you able to maintain a sense of humor while going through breast cancer treatment?
Actually, I was not able to keep a sense of humor while going through breast cancer treatment. It was only after the fact that I was able to look back and find some fodder in things like wigs and hair loss and things that at the time I didn't find losing my hair funny at all. But later I found there was lots of things to laugh about.
What would you advise others who have recently been diagnosed do to tap into their sense of humor and find humor that might be hidden underneath the trauma?
Well, again, there really is nothing to laugh about when you're going through breast cancer and chemotherapy and radiation. So I really don't have any advice on what to do to find your humor. What I would say, though, and this is what got me through it, was to really be grateful. I know it's such a cliche to say, be grateful for what you have, but it really worked for me. It's interesting how being grateful for the smallest things tend to make things turn out the way you want them to.
What was your motivation to write I Said Camel?
Breast cancer for me, I feel like was my hitting bottom, so to speak. Not that I had such a miserable life before breast cancer, but I certainly hadn't manifested the life that I wanted. And I did a lot of begging and please God, and nothing seemed to happen other than breast cancer. And fortunately for me, I really looked at it as God saying, all right, Dawn, I'm not messing around anymore. Are you going to start living the life that I put you on this earth to do, or are you going to keep whining? And so I chose to begin manifesting the life I wanted to. And so that's what I did.
What is your favorite scene in I Said Camel and why?
The conversations that I had with God. While I was writing it, I really did feel that God was talking to me. And I was very pleased with how clever they came out, and they're absolutely truthful.
In your book, you talk about running and how much it helped you. How would you advise others who have recently been diagnosed to begin or continue their exercise regime?
Oh, just keep going. If you're a runner, you need to keep going. In fact, when I was doing chemo, the infusion nurse that helped me said, you're going to do so much better than a lot of others because you run. And I really tried to ignore the fact that I had this chemo in my body, and I would continue to run my 6 miles every day until I couldn't do that anymore. I would still try, but I would just breathe so hard. And towards the end of my infusions, I could barely get down to the end of my street. But, your body will tell you when it's time to stop.
Why should people buy your book, I Said Camel?
People should read my book because this really isn't a story about cancer, but it's about getting a second chance, and it's about how to get your life to take off.
Any other book projects you're working on?
Yes, I'm working on a children's book that has nothing to do with cancer.